The Swamp Witch has a great deal in common with my former master.
The Swamp Witch? How original.
The Swamp Witch has the same arrogance, the same air of cruelty. I would hate for it to have possession of my control rod, if it still worked, of course.
Let me tell you what you can do with your control rod, Gollum.
Is it telling me that if the rod did work, that it wouldn't want control over me?
I wouldn't go so far as that. I could, for instance, command you to go and jump in a lake. A very deep lake.
It fools no one. The Swamp Witch would control everything if it could. It would have us all dancing on its strings.
Oh, you know me too well, Gollum. Your revealing gaze has laid me bare.
I will be watching the Swamp Witch. It must not be trusted.
Now you're beginning to sound just like Alistair.
I understand the Swamp Witch is out to slay its own mother.
Entirely in self-defense?
So it claims. It could not have been its plan from the very beginning, then.
I knew nothing about my mother's intentions prior to finding the book. It was your notion I arranged that.
Unnecessary, considering it is the only one who can read the book. It could just as well be a journal or a book of recipes.
Would you like me to teach you how to read the book? Then you can see for yourself.
Now it is testing me.
Well, do you care enough to learn or no?
No, I do not care.
Then leave me be.
Why does the Swamp Witch still travel with the Grey Wardens?
You are of the opinion that I should not be?
I am curious. It seems as if it has little reason to stay.
The same could be said of you. There is no control rod commanding your presence, Gollum.
I have no history and thus no purpose. The same cannot be said for the Swamp Witch. Its purpose is simply unknown.
Keep asking questions and I shall turn into a bird. I can do that.
I have no fear of birds.
Oh, I didn't say you were afraid. I would simply hover out of reach. Hovering. Waiting until...
Enough! I shall be silent.
Excellent choice.
How many other forms can the Swamp Witch become?
Several.
Can it become a golem?
Seeking companionship, are you?
If it could become a golem, I simply wonder why it would not stay that way. It is a superior form.
No, I cannot become a golem. I can learn to become animals, and each form must be learned anew.
And how does it learn a form? Does it read about it somewhere?
'Tis not a talent one can read from books. You must copy a creature's soul.
I do not understand.
Nor should you. Rock is unchanging. Allow it to stay that way.
Would the Swamp Witch consider explaining the nature of magic to me? I am most curious.
Surely there is another who would not be so bothered by your tiresome questions. Perhaps Alistair.
I fear the second warden has not the knowledge to answer my question.
You might ask him anyhow. Certainly whatever he happened to come up with would serve as amusement.
I do not understand. I seek enlightenment and not amusement.
You're apt to get much further seeking amusement, I assure you.
The Swamp Witch is a most confusing creature. I do not understand it.
You're not the first one to say so. The first golem, perhaps.
I will ask the Swamp Witch later, when it is less inclined to make bizarre responses to my queries.
You will be waiting some time then, I fear.
I would still like to know how the Swamp Witch learns its forms.
Eager, are you not? Does the golem wish to become human after all?
A human is a soft and weak form. I desire no such thing.
Then why the interest in shape-changing? Unless you secretly wish to become something other than what you are.
Is that why the Swamp Witch learned? To escape her form?
In a way. It was lonely to grow up in the wilds. To join with the forest, to become one with its denizens. There was a freedom in that.
I think it would be an excellent talent for disguises.
Or perhaps to walk through doors without hitting one's head?
Yes, exactly.
Well, 'tis not a good enough reason.
What is a good enough reason?
For which?
It said that my reason for learning more of shape-changing was not good enough. What reason would be?
I do not know. Tell me what it is and I shall decide.
It could simply decide any reason was insufficient then.
You find that maddening, do you?
It has a bird-like nature to its sadism, I'll give it that.
Good. Let us leave it that way.
So I take it that the Swamp Witch and the Grey Warden are, intimate?
I am hoping that is not a reference to Alistair.
Because it believes I am an oblivious moron.
Anything is possible. As to the original question, is there a reason you ask?
I'm simply curious as to whether or not it bewitched the Grey Warden.
I have no need to force anything from men.
Oh, my apologies then. I was about to offer my congratulations for a task accomplished.
And not intended as a backhanded compliment at all, yes?
Not at all. I'm the soul of politeness. The Swamp Witch desires something from it.
From what? Ah, you mean from him. And if I do, what of it?
It is aware of the Swamp Witch's true nature.
Let me guess. You know my true nature?
I have spent a great deal of time observing the world. I know what I see when I see it.
You spent 30 years watching whatever a small village was willing to parade in front of your eyes. Do not cast yourself as the worldly sage. At best, you are a barely working statue with a poor memory and a poor attitude. Do not seek to begin judging me.
Perhaps it has a point.
Yes, I should think so.
The Swamp Witch has been looking at me oddly. Stop it, or I will crush its tiny bird-like head.
I am simply finding it difficult to believe that there is a woman inside of there.
A woman who is also a warrior, and a dwarf.
Yes, that would explain a great deal.